Perfect. Perfect.
Hello everyone. Today we are on chapter 2, lesson 2.1. In this lesson we will learn how to multiply fractions. You will be able by the end of this lesson to find products involving fractions and mixed numbers. You'll be able to draw a model to explain the fraction. You'll be able to multiply fractions. You'll be able to find products involving mixed numbers. And then last but not least, you'll be able to interpret some products using some real life problems. Okay? So let's go on to our first problem. I kind of left this like here. So for those of you that were with me last year, I'll kind of give you the fast version of this. How do we multiply fractions? We multiply fractions what? Straight across, like this. Okay, this is the super fast way to do this. So we're going to multiply 1 over 4 times 1 over 2. So we multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. And then 4 times 2 is 8. There we go. We simplified it. Now, that's the super easy version, but we also need to understand what this means. Now, we know the times sign sometimes is represented as the word of. So 1/4 of 1/2. For example, I ate 1/2 of the pizza. 1/2 of the pizza. Okay? So let's see. It says use a model to find 1/4 of 1/2. Well, first off, let's see. 1/4. How many of these do I need to make a whole, right? So this is the kind of the way this would look like. So let's see. If we have 1/2, so we need 4 of these to make a whole. So 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. But that's only 1/4 of a half. And then we would have 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, something like that. So if it was just like this, and this was the number 1, right? This is what it would look like. 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4 would give us one whole number. But right, this time it's giving us just 1/4 of that. So it says, what is 1/4 of 1/2? Well, if this is 1/4 of this, right? 1/4 of this, that's not 1/4 of the whole thing. So what would that mean, for exactly? That means, when the multiplication, that means each one of these little boxes is actually 1/8. Because how many of these, if this is a half, right? That means this is also a half. And 2 halves make a what? This would be 1 whole. So 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8 plus 1/8. 1/8, 1/8, 1/8, 1/8. That would give us a whole. So let me give you guys another practice problem so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Make sure you do write this down, ladies and gentlemen, in your notes. This is what I should have that whole picture, the drawing, and everything in your notes. So let's try one more. So this time I'm going to do what is 1/3 of 1/2. Well, if I wanted to draw this one out, right, I have 1/3 here. Let's draw it like this. Okay, so this would be just 1/2, and we need 2 halves to make a whole. So let me finish this off here. This is another, oops, let's do it in blue. This is another half. So 1/3 of this, so this, right, if we're just looking at just this, these would be 1/3, but that would make a whole. So this would actually be 1/6, 1 out of 6. So what is 1/3 of 1/2? Remember, we multiply straight across. That would be 1/6. So what exactly were we talking about? We were talking about just this shape right here. All right, let's do it the quick way. Let's do it the quick way that we learned. Just multiply. How do we multiply fractions? We multiply fractions straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 5 is 15. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 4 is 12. Remember, now that we are in 6th grade, we always what? Always simplify. So let's simplify. What number can go into both 6 and 12? Well, I know 6. So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. Let's do another one. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 6 is 12. Can we simplify that? No, we cannot. All right, let's move on to example. This is actually example number 2. So let's multiply. Now, remember how we said we always simplify? Well, first of all, let me ask you the question. How do we multiply fractions? We multiply fractions straight across, right? 8 times 3 is 24. 9 times 4 is 36. This is where it's going to get difficult for some of us to simplify because we don't know what number goes into 24 or what number goes into 36. Before we do that, we could actually simplify. So how about we simplify that? How do I know how we can simplify that? So let me show you a cool trick. I'm going to draw this little circle right here. Is there a number that can go into both 8 and 4? Yeah, 4, right? So now I'm just going to divide both of these by 4 then. What's 4 divided by 4? Well, that would be 1. And what's 8 divided by 4? That would give us what? 2. Let me put that in blue so we can see it. Give us 2. I can do the same thing over here like this. Is there a number that can go into both 9 and 3? Yeah, 3. So let's divide by 3. What's that can give us? 1. And then what's 9 divided by 3? That's going to give us 3. Now, how do we multiply fractions? We multiply fractions straight across. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 1 is 3. But if we multiply it the other way, let's see. 8 times 3 is 24. 9 times 4 is 36. I now need to come up with a number that goes into both of these. So let's see what number would go into both of these. I think 6. Let's try 6. What is 24 divided by 6? Well, that would be 4, right? 36 divided by 6 would be 6. All right, is there a number that can go into both 4 and 6? Yeah, 2. Let's divide by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. 6 divided by 2 is 3. Well, check that out. Look at all that extra work I had to do when we got the exact same answer. The more you practice it, the faster and easier it will be. I promise. So let's check this out. Here's another one that we got to write down. So I would like to simplify this, or how about we do it first? Let's see. 3 times 2 is 6. 7 times 3 is 21. Is there a number that can go into 6 and 21? Yes, 3, right? So let's divide by 3. 6 divided by 3 is 2. Good. 21 divided by 3 is 7. So we figured out the answer was 2 over 7. But let's see if we can simplify before we even move forward. Let's see. Is there anything I can do with 2 and 7 besides 1? Right? That's it. There's nothing I can do. So there's nothing to do there. But I can do this. Is there a number that goes into 3? Right? 3 and 3? Yeah. It's 3. So let's divide by 3. That cancels itself out. So what's left over is 1. And then up here we're going to divide 2. Divide by 3. And what's going to be left over? That's just 1. And now, how do we multiply fractions? Straight across, right? 1 times 2 is 2. 7 times 1 is 7. And we got the exact same answer. All right, let's try another one. Here we go. So I'm going to do it the first way. Let's just multiply straight across. How do we multiply fractions? Straight across. 4 times 3 is 12. 9 times 10 is 90. So now this time we need to divide by some numbers. Do you guys know of any numbers that can go into 12 and 9? Remember what I said? If we add these two together, what do we get? 3, right? 1 plus 2 is 3, so I know 3 goes into 12. And 9 plus 0 gives us 9, and I know 3 goes into 9. So let's divide these by 3. 12 divided by 3 gives me 4. And then 90 divided by 3 gives me 30. All right, we're not done yet, though, because I know what number goes into 4 and 30. Well, I think 2, right? So 4 divided by 2 gives me 2, and 30 divided by 2 gives me 15. So we got to 2 over 15. But check out all that stuff I had to do to solve this problem. I bet you if we simplify it before we even start, it'd be even easier. So let's check this out. Let's start with the easy one. 9 and 3. Is there a number that can go into 9 and 3? Yeah, 3. Let's divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 gives me what? 1. I'm going to cross that off so I know I'm done. 9 divided by 3 gives me what? 3. So I'm going to cross that off so I know that it's done. Now, can I do something with 4 and 10 right here? Yeah, 2, right? Can't I divide by 2? So let's divide by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then 10 divided by 2 is what? 5. Now I just need to multiply straight across, right? So 2 times 1 is 2. And then 3 times 5 is 15. Well, would you check that out? We got the exact same answer. Let's try another one. All right, let's do it the long way first. 6 times 5 is 30. 5 times 8 is 40. So now we need to simplify. What number goes into 30 and 40? Let's divide by 10. So 30 divided by 10 is 3. 40 divided by 10 is 4. 3/4. All right, so that's one way to do it. The other way is to simplify ahead of time. Let's see. Well, I know that. Let me highlight it. It's easier. So let's check that out. Is there a number that can go into 5 and 5? Yeah, 5, right? So let's divide by 5. That gives me 1. 5 divided by 5 gives me 1. And then now, is there a number that can go into 6 and 8? Yeah, 2, right? So let's divide by 2. That gives me 3. Let's divide by 2, and that gives me 4. Now I just need to multiply straight across. 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 4 is 4. And there we go. That is how we multiply fractions. All right, let's do our last example for today. All right, let's read this question. Oops, my bad. This question says that, let me erase that real quick. It says you have 2/3 of a bag of flour. So let's just stop right there. How much flour do I have? I have 2/3 a bag of flour. And it says I used 3/4 of it. Okay, so I used it. What does that mean when you use, right? You took it out. I used this. I used my basketball. I used this. I used, how much did I use? I used 3/4 out of that. So 3/4 of that. So I'm already thinking of a math problem right now. I'm thinking, oops, let me make that smaller. I'm thinking 3/4. Remember we said multiplication, or the word of means multiplication. So I use 3/4 of, how much did I have? 2/3. Now, if we know of means multiplication, let's just get rid of that. And oops, my bad. How about I erase it instead? 3/4, and we know it's multiplication. All right, it says, how much of the entire bag did you use to make dough? Well, if I multiply, I can multiply the long way. 3 times 2 is 6. 4 times 3 is 12. And now I have to simplify. What number goes into 6 and 12? Well, that would be 6, right? So 6 divided by 6 is 1. 12 divided by 6 is 2. So I used half of the bag of flour. All right, or I can do it the fast way, and I can simplify beforehand, right? So what number goes into 3 and 3? Well, I know 3 goes into both of them, right? Oh, let's make that bigger. Maybe even bigger. Like that. So what number goes into 3? Well, 3, right? So let's divide by 3. Divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. And now, is there a number that can go into 2 and 4? Yeah, 2, right? So let's divide by 2. That gives you 1. And 4 divided by 2 gives you 2. So all we got to do now is multiply straight across. 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. So how much of that bag of flour did we use? We used half of it. Okay. The most important thing about this problem that I wanted to do is I wanted you guys to understand how this problem works. So it says you have, right? So you start off with this one, and then it says you used, right? We're looking at some of these words that can help us do the math. All right, so that is how you do a word problem with.
Perfect.